In this era, it is almost impossible to imagine ourselves without the technology that is available today. We are so dependent on the current technology that things that used to be so simple now seem almost impossible without the help of that technology. Navigating across the country using a good old map, remembering all the phone numbers of your friends and relatives, enjoying a concert without filming the entire thing. Nowadays, these things seem almost impossible. Almost everything we do requires some sort of mobile application. Smartwatches, laptops, smartphones. We simply do not leave the house without them. But do we actually realize that by carrying these devices with us all day, the companies behind the devices know what you do, where you are going, and probably even why you are going there? But do you know where your information ends up? Let's ask some people.
Do you use a navigation system on a mobile device, like your smartphone or laptop?
I'm using Google Maps, yeah.
Do you know any of your other apps on your phone that are tracking your location actively?
I'm thinking of weather apps, which are tracking my location, and I think there are a lot of more apps on the smartphone which I really don't know if they're really tracking my locations or not. I think it's just in the beginning when you download them, then you have to accept them, but then in the end you don't really know if they use it or not, or what really they do.
Okay. Do you generally enable the location tracking function for apps?
Yeah, I do.
For all apps or just some?
I think for most of the apps you just have to accept that they're using the location, otherwise they wouldn't function, so most of the times I'm just accepting it.
And do you care about the terms and conditions you have to accept for being able to use an app or like a navigation system?
No, I don't read those, and I want to use it, so I have to agree to that. And I don't know what they do with my data, but yeah.
You don't really care about that?
No, I don't think that it's anything harmful to me, so I don't really put a lot of thought into that.
There are a lot of people with the same attitude towards this question as Thorsten, including me as well sometimes. People want to use applications fast and easy, and not take time to read the terms and agreements. Therefore, they usually give applications a lot of permissions they don't really need. But what are the dangers of granting permissions to these apps? What do companies do with the information they have about you? And why are small pieces of seemingly insignificant information so valuable to businesses? We traveled all the way to Gouda to meet with Dr. Dan Ayanida, a researcher at the University of Twente in cybersecurity and safety.
So can you tell us what profiling is and what it's used for?
Well, I think profiling in the broadest sense is using multiple pieces of information to kind of piece together an image of a person. That could be his tastes, where he lives, and in general a profile of the person. And its main use is for advertising, showing you targeted ads, whether it's location-based ads or preference-based ads or ads based on your gender or ethnicity and so on. Of course, it has also other more nefarious uses. You can think of government surveillance as the most extreme one, but also discrimination. So you can imagine an insurance company that rejects or increases the rates of people who they believe have higher risk factors, or showing you higher airline prices if you looked for that flight the day before. There are plenty of uses, and I think most of them are questionable.
So, companies process every piece of data they are able to collect because it allows them to build a complete profile of that person. Why is it worrisome?
So the idea is that the more information you have about the person and the more information you have about other people, the more patterns emerge, and you can identify things that were not initially disclosed by the person or even found in the original data set. So essentially the more you know about the person, the more you can find out about that person.
Profiling enables companies to build profiles of people with more accuracy than people could describe themselves. A great example of this is when Target, an American retail chain, was predicting whether women were pregnant based on their visit and buying habits. Using these profiles, target would adjust their personal advertisements to stimulate purchasing behavior. This level of accuracy in profiling was achieved only using regular customer data.
That's right. A report in the New York Times says Target's sophisticated computers are able to guess when a woman shopper is pregnant based on 25 items that pregnant women buy. Among them, vitamins, zinc and magnesium supplements, and cocoa butter lotion. Toss in extra large clothing or a rocking chair, and the store decides you are pregnant and starts targeting you with baby coupons.
As you can imagine, this caused for some uproar about the ethical aspect of privacy. Despite the seemingly unethical behavior, Target did not do anything illegal. You can conclude the possession of this huge amount of data gives companies great power. But with great power comes great responsibility. Or does it? What are the consequences for companies who handle their data unethically? We had a Skype meeting with Magdalena Josviak, a researcher at the Faculty of Law at the Vrije Universiteit of Amsterdam.
It's a very nice question in the sense that, if a company behaves unethically, there are no legal consequences actually. So if this unethical behavior is not simultaneously illegal behavior, you can get away with it, and so probably consequences will be reputational consequences.
So, as long as companies follow their own terms and conditions and do not break the law, there are no consequences. This puts responsibility on the users to decide for themselves whether they are okay with the way their data will be handled. But is it fair to put this responsibility on the users? Is the average user able to fully understand the terms and conditions if he or she actually read them?
So I think that there's a little bit of progress in that respect, because I think many companies now are trying more and more to simplify the terms and conditions, or at least the privacy settings. There are new interfaces that allow to regulate your privacy preferences and so on. So I think Google and Facebook both regularly update those interfaces. So that allows for, it becomes very basic now. So you say yes, no, I agree, I don't, and you have some little icons that help you to understand, and so on. And I think actually, if you did pay attention, and read the conditions, many of us, I think at least with some level of understanding of technology, you would be able to get the gist of those conditions and terms. Another thing is that people don't pay time to read those, and so that's on us. A lot of this is on us, I guess.
So terms and conditions are becoming better understandable. Still, people often don't take time to fully understand them. Is it because they just don't care about privacy, or do they not see the importance of it? We had a meeting with Peter de Vries, assistant professor at the Department of Psychology of Conflict, Risk and Safety at the University of Twente.
So a lot of people don't realize that they're sharing their own data. A lot of people don't care. A lot of people do care, but sometimes their behavior conflicts with what they profess verbally. So they may profess that they're knowledgeable about the risk and about their privacy issues, but at the same time download another app from the App Store or whatever.
And when people decide to share personal data, do you think that they are aware of possible risks associated with that, with sharing data?
That's a big question mark. It seems to me that they're not don't take this information into account when they make crucial decisions, and that may have something to do with the fact that it's privacy concerns, data safety. Those are very general terms, and people may fail to link it with very specific actions, such as downloading app X. So that's a very specific action, and they may not directly link it to something as general as privacy issues.
Even people who say that they do care about their privacy are often not showing behavior that corresponds with that concern. We asked Peter to give some clarification on why people go ahead and share their data despite showing concern about their own privacy.
When they take decisions, they take shortcuts. They don't weigh all the information they have. People are lazy, basically. So they may favor the short-term benefits and neglect the disadvantages that are on a longer term. So if you download an app, then you have immediate gratification, but the risks associated with that behavior, they will come to light only maybe in a year's time, or maybe in 5 years' time, but not immediately.
Short-term satisfaction beats long-term safety. Like in many other aspects, people often choose for short-term benefits. But what will it take to change the behavior of the masses? We asked Glenn to give his thoughts on what the future will be.
I think in the future, well, actually I think in the near future, you will see a lot of bigger leaks. A lot of big scandals, and then people will get scared, and hopefully things will change also in terms of regulation to become stricter and also more understandable. But hopefully users will also get a better idea of what the actual risks are.
Well, you heard it. In order for society to become aware of the dangers of data sharing, they need to be confronted with the dangers themselves. People will probably need to learn it the hard way. Will you be one of those, or will you be ahead of the rest? A leak can be happening right now, so take a look at yourself, and if necessary, change your online behavior. Because my final question is to you. Are you caring about sharing?